Hello students, welcome to lecture number 47. We discussed in the previous lecture details about harvesting equipment. Now here we will be slightly more specific and then talk of harvesting cereal crops, root and fruit crops. Although I had shown you some of the machines there, just to introduce you, to bring you to your mindset about these machines. Now let us have a look at these and what are the principles and how they work in the field conditions. So let us go through these slides and have a look at it. What are the basic equipments? See, the manual tools, in fact, this is the tool which is known as sickle, and this tool has been used from ancient time. This was in fact, when there was nothing, maybe the initial people might not have done any serration on this, and simply they might have had a piece of iron and then sharpened somehow and then used it for cutting, etc. But then as the shear cutting came up and people became knowledgeable about all these things, so serrations came in the blade, and in fact now with this sickle, various types of sickles are available in the country. It is worth knowing that in this country the sickles are known as Maharashtra sickles, then Bengal sickles, and then UP sickles. Various types of sickles are available, various sizes of sickles are also available depending upon their effectivity, and we had an opportunity to work on such a device as to which one is good for a group of persons. Now, it actually depends on the location where it has been developed and what is the liking of the people. They are used to a particular one, and if some modification has been done in that, that area people are liking. But if it is used in some other area, we found that the acceptability of such sickles were lesser. So as such, then they can have serrations and they can be plain, as I told you. Then the serrated sickle combines slicing and sawing action. Yes, we are trying to see, by holding this, we are trying to sawing action, we are trying to move it like this and cut. And this requires actually manually, and this is a very arduous job, and you will find that most of the time, in fact, the women folk, they are utilized for doing this job. Of course, now this trend is that more and more women are being inducted into agriculture. They are coming up because the male people from the house are going somewhere else for other greener pastures and getting more money for doing other operations and tasks and jobs. So this, in fact, this number is increasing. So the total man hour, you can see here that 80 to 110. We have also found about 30 to 35 man days per hectare required, depending on the growth of the crop, the total volume of the crop that you have in the land. So we have found that the harvesting takes so much. Now these are very important things, because you remember that the period between harvesting of one crop and then the starting of another crop is very short. He has to harvest and he has to thresh also, and then take the grains, and then the keeping of the grains in the barn or in the houses or wherever they can be safely kept. It is very essential. After that only he can think of taking up the next crop in the same plot, and for that he has to prepare the field again accordingly and then sow it. So the time period is very less. So that is why so much of man days per hectare is not possible, and very, very difficult during the peak season. During peak season, such things have been a very big problem, and the farmers do not get people for doing this task. So as such, but this tool remains. So that is why it was worth showing you here, and you can see we have given a video, I mean it is not a video but a photograph of how the ladies and gents, how the people, in what posture they are operating. So these are very arduous postures, but they have been used, and still they are being used in some of the locations in the country and some other places. This is one where mechanical equipment which I had shown you earlier, that this is a device which is working, and it saves a lot of energy. As I said, that these require a very high energy if they are manually done. So that is why we have such equipment which are available. Now, these reapers are nothing but reaping the crop. So, as you sow, so you reap, you must have heard. So, if you have a good crop, you are going to reap a good crop. So, that is why the name of this has come as a reaper. So, you can see that this reaper mostly is cutting up the crop at the ground level, I mean very close to the ground level. And what are the details of this? There is a crop divider, there is a cutter bar assembly, then feeding and conveying devices which are there in these. Now, these are classified into two types. Actually, when the crop is standing and it is cut, and what will happen, generally manually what we do after cutting, small bundles are made and they are put in by the sides, maybe like this. So, like bundles are made and they are kept. Now, this job is done by the people. So, here the vertical conveyor, after cutting they move and they are windrowing. This thing is known as windrowing actually. So, this is known as windrowing. This is known as windrowing. So, after cutting it windrows the crops on one side of it. Now, the methodology, this is called vertical conveyor, because the crop after cutting is conveyed in a vertical action and then it falls on one side. In some other situation, this horizontal conveying is also done. Some of the crops where the crops are in bush type things, for example, in you can say in some of the crops where say soybean or gram, in these crops even they can be cut and they can be horizontally conveyed, and that is why there are two types of such reapers available. Now, we can have a look at the video of this. Now, have a look at the video of how it works. You can see how it works here. Actually, see the windrowing is going on properly, as we have said, and if you can see, there are two machines being operated. So, the working is faster, they very fast, they can cut these. You can see here that the two persons are operating and they have been used effectively for so long. Now, the other Now, what is the problem with these is that they are just windrowing. Now, there are devices where only windrowing will not do. See, we would like that after, as I showed you, that windrowing, but small bundles are made. Now, it will be easier for this to collect and then carry to the farmyard. So, that for that, now the farmers expressed, and then there another machine came up, and this machine is known as reaper binder. So, exactly the field capacity, field efficiency, all details are given over here, and this machine does simply the job which was not done by the earlier machine. So, although there are some weaknesses of that, but still that machine is being used extensively. Now, this will do the job of binding also. So, the cost is slightly higher, but still if you have people, both the machines can be used. So, let us have a look at this as well. Now, sometimes this is another one is a stripper harvest. Sometimes you must have seen that when the crop is here like this, and it has these are some of the, this is the stem of that, and these are the grains which are there into that. Now, sometimes this stripper, what is done is that this is stripped, this portion is simply stripped and threshed. So, that it will simply take from top, and these are taken. So, when they are taken like this, the whole this plant is left and this portion is taken. Later on, these portions are cut and they are left in the field itself for conserving the moisture of that. But they are not very popular now, but as such, this is another type of device which is available. You might have seen somewhere, we have at IIT Kharagpur, we had one got from Philippines about 15 years back. But they are known as stripper harvesters. That means they will strip the cob parts of it where the grains are there. So, this is another one. We will have a video of this reaper binder, so that you can appreciate that after cutting in the earlier case, it was simply windrowing and not putting the bundles, small bundles. This is done here. So, we will have a look at this. Now, have a look at this actually, how the whole thing is being performed. You can see the bundles being made, see the bundles which are being made here. If you see the back from this side, the bundles are being. So, it is easier for the farmer to collect these bundles and then transport. So, this is one which is above that, and of course, the cost is slightly more than that one, but this is availability of the it is available in the market, and one should, if depending on the requirement, he should go for it. If people are not available, what will you do? You will have to go for this machine, because the people are not available even for lifting. So, these are the machines which I said, particularly the reaper binder and the stripper. So, these are also available, and they are being used. Now, for equipment for harvesting root crops. So, there we talked of in the earlier two ones, we said that the crops, cereal crops are there, and generally we had the two types which are very important. Now, when we are talking of root crops, that means the crop which is actually bulbs, just like potato, just like groundnut. Now, these are the ones which are there, or sugar beet and things like that, and even carrot. They are all below the ground. So, you need to, when you need to harvest them, what are the things required? See, you will require digging. The root crop harvesting basically perform the following operations. What are the operations? Digging will be there. It has to be dug up to that level. You should dig it to the extent that it should not cut. If it is in this posture, supposing a carrot, we are talking of carrot here, and digging is there at this location, then this much of material will be left inside. So, proper digging has to be such that the whole material comes out, and the either if the potatoes are there, then it must be below that, so that every amount of potato which is there should be taken up. So, this is important. Then separating the soil, loose soil from the small clods and stones. Yes, this is what I was saying, that if you have done, this is the level at which the plant is there or the potatoes are there, then we have to cut it from here. So, and all this soil which is there, it should be removed from stones and all this, so that you get clear bulbs of potatoes or sugar beet or whatever, or weeds, and separating them in different sizes and all that. Groundnut digger. Now, this is for groundnut. So, you have seen that the machine consists of a blade, the elevator picking reel, yes, there will be, and then power transmission, yes, power is taken from the tractor. We are taking the power from the tractor, PTO, and that power has to be utilized for the operation. So, windrowing operation, which I said, attached, and fenders which are there. Now, the fenders and then the attachments which will, gauge wheels which will maintain the depth of operation, and then the coulters which will try to cut some of the trusses which will be there on the top. Now, the width of the soil varies from 500 to 600 mm. Now, this depends on the type of the design you have and the power source that you have. So, on that this is made, because you must try to match the requirement of the machine or the size of the machine as per the power. Maybe we have discussed earlier, and we will in our subsequent lectures we will talk of how to match the power of the power source with the size of the equipment, which is very important, and so that you can utilize maximum power of the power source. The field capacity varies from 0.25 to 0.28 hectare per hour. So, you can see that roughly within 4 hours or so 1 hectare area you can do, and if you have to dig about 1 hectare area, even you will require several times other than so many people, about 100 people you may require or so, and this is a very strenuous task. So, these are equipment which are already available. We will have a video of this and see how it works. Now, you can see how it works here. The whole operation is seen. This is the ground. You can see the bushes etc. are there, and then the whole thing will be picked up and maybe cleaned, and then groundnut threshers are available. We will talk of that when we come to that place, that in that lecture, and those are then actually removed. So, this is the thing. You see the operation. You should appreciate the point of view. Yes. Now, potato, we, as I said earlier, that you can think of the groundnut similarly for potatoes. Potato, you see, manual harvesting of potatoes require about 800 man-hour per hectare. You see, so much of this time, it's not possible that you get so many people for doing this particular operation, and it has to be done at the right time. Otherwise, you will lose the potatoes which are there, and many times we find that these potatoes, if they are not harvested, they have to be thrown, and even harvested potatoes, if they are not properly preserved, then after some time they lose their value. So, it is very important that they should be harvested properly, and they should be stored in the proper locations and places where they can be stored for some more duration of time. The field capacity of this, so we have a machine here which is, I will show you the working of this as well, and you can see here that the potato, the field capacity is 0.3 to 0.4 hectare. Roughly you can say that within 2 hours or so, by 2 hours or so, you will be in a position to complete 1 hectare of this. You can see the very good operation of such a machine here. Now here I must tell you that depending upon the capability of the person, see, a poor farmer may not be in a position to purchase these big machines. They are not very big, but as such, now the concept of custom hiring has come up. Some of the group of farmers can come together and purchase these machines and use for their own requirement, as well as they can also give it on rent and earn some more money, and field efficiency of such machines about 75 to 80%. So, these are some of these devices which are being used, and they are worth having. Fruits and vegetable harvesting mechanisms and methods. Well, as I said that plucking is important here, and see, the fruits are harvested from the parent tree by giving the farmer a strong pull. Generally, we try to pull it. So, the plucking is done by hand. Fruits are held firmly, hand of the worker after pulling. Now, you can see that the fruit is held firmly in the hand of the worker after pulling. Otherwise, what will happen is it will fall on the ground. Once it falls on the ground, the fruit is totally spoiled, because physically you may not see at that point of time, but then the inside the tissues will get hurt, and after some time, when the temperature and other relative humidity conditions are not favorable, then it will start deteriorating, and then if you cut the fruit, after that it will not be in the position to be eaten. So, this is difficult. Similarly, manual plucking. Fruits is actually performed by hand. Manually, see, you can pick up each and every mango. If you are talking, people go into the tree and then pick up the mangoes. They carry in their small bags and all that. This is one way, but then how do you get so much people? It's not possible. So, the various types of ladders have been made. So, you can see here the various types of ladders have been made. We showed here earlier, So, this is one with device which is there, and you can see that this particular device which has been made. So, the people can go onto it and then reach to that location. As I said, in fact, a tractor drawn platform have also been used and designed. You might have seen at some locations, and these are available for plucking of these fruits. Sometimes, in fact, by shaking also we try to take the fruits. What is done is that whole, say suppose branches, the whole branch is held, and then at certain frequency and amplitude, this is you can say that vibrated, and this shaking is done, and that through that shaking then very big nets are spread at certain height above the ground, and then fruits etc. are collected. Now, this is one way of doing it, but still there has been found to be some damages, because when they fall, if they are not held properly very straight, then they will fall, and then they will become hips at various locations, and that also damages the plant. So, those are the different types of methods which are available and which people have used for this, particularly when you go to hill regions. There it is very difficult, even these apples and all that is difficult which are there on the hill regions. So, people go manually, these are done, but when you have a larger plantation, when you are having so much of area to be harvested and the fruits are to be harvested well in time, so that they are used and they are properly kept in the bags or in the proper places, so that they can be transported properly. So, this is very important, and so when you are talking of harvesting of these, very you have to be careful. Same thing happens for vegetables also. We will talk we have talked of fruits and vegetables. When you vegetables, you have seen that vegetables are as fresh as possible. You would like to get the vegetables. So, maybe that you can have e-carts where you can cut the vegetables or harvest the vegetables which are available, and then put in e-carts and then take to the market, or store for a day or so and then take to the market, or take it depending upon your requirement and depending upon the requirement of the market. So, and many people have done this thing. In fact, people are making good business out of the e-carts which have been designed for fruits and vegetables. People are making organic fruits and vegetables, and then they are using this such devices which are available to them. Well, these are the devices which we were talking of. They are this for mango. You can see here that a catcher is given and the fruit picker, and this another device. Now, mechanical fruit picking, fruit harvester, shaking, as I told you, all these are the devices which I have already said. We have given you here some write-up which will help you in understanding them instead of hunting anywhere else. When you go through this video, you will have this material with you, and you can see this and understand. If you require some more details, well, you can go to some of the books or other literature and have more information about these. We have picked up a problem for you. We want that you should also try to see how these are used and what are the relevant way of understanding these devices. See, for a conveyor, the problem is a vertical conveyor reaper with 1.4 meter width of the reaper travels at 1.5 kilometer per hour. Loss of time proportional to area equals to 1.5 hour per hectare, and this is primarily due to turning and adjustment of the machine. Yes, turning losses and other adjustments are required, for which there is a loss. If these losses are neglected, let us neglect these losses, then calculate the actual field capacity of the machine. Very simple one, but yes, it makes you think how you will go about it. See, you must have seen that the field capacity is Ws by 10, we have heard, where W is the width of the machine, S is the speed, W width of the machine in meter, and S is in kilometer per hour, Ws by 10, which gives you field capacity in hectare per hour. So, using this you will straight away get this thing, but then time taken to cover 1 hectare is 4.76, just the reverse of this. This is what it is. Now, you have been given that certain amount of time is lost. So, field efficiency is theoretical time. Now, there is a mistake here. This is E, theoretical time and actual time. So, actual time, theoretical time by actual time to 100. Now, field efficiency is that your theoretical time we have worked this much, but the actual time will be which will add up the the time which has been lost. So, you must add this. Once you do this, you get the actual time. So, the actual time is available and theoretical time you have worked out. So, the field efficiency is this. This is the field efficiency. This was which was asked to you. Now, another problem has been taken to make it clear, slightly more clear. See, a living alpha stem of 2.5 millimeter diameter is loaded horizontally at a distance of 30 millimeter above the soil surface as a cantilever beam. Now, based on the entire stem cross section, the modulus of elasticity, which is given as 1500 Newton per millimeter square, and the ultimate tensile strength is 35 Newton per millimeter square. Now, we need to calculate the horizontal force that would cause bending failure and calculate the horizontal deflection of the stem at the point of failure. So, very good problem. It will bring your knowledge of the strength of materials and the way we do, and the formulae which we have already given in this respect of cutting and bending forces required for the plants and the structures which we gave earlier. So, we have utilized this over here. You can see here, this is the one which is given for solid and circular section. So, for moment of inertia. Now, moment of inertia is found out from here. D is the diameter of that which is over here. So, the D is diameter of the stem of that plant. This is known. Then what was the formula? If you go further, you will see the formula which is. Now, this is the formula which is used. Now, this is the formula which is used here, where SU is the ultimate strength of the plant fiber, which is already given. Then I you have found out from that side, and C is the radius from neutral axis, which is very important here. Now, and L is the distance from constant load to point of support. Now, these values are given in the problem itself. So, you can put these values here and get FBU. Once you have got this, then horizontal deflection of the stem at the point of failure. When the failure takes place, what is the horizontal deflection which has taken before the failure takes place of that plant, which we had discussed earlier, that initial there will be energy for compressing it, and then it comes first compressing and then cutting and then final cutting. So, before the cutting takes place, failure takes place, what is the level of deflection which will take place. So, that using this particular formula which has already been given to you, this formula which has been developed. So, we getting all these values of radial deflection, then the FBU is nothing but radial concentration of the load is nothing but this one here. So, and modulus of elasticity of that material is known. So, using CBU is for a cantilever beam, it was given to you that what will be that. So, it will be behaving like a cantilever beam. So, for that CB is equal to 3, and if it is for simply supported beam, the value will be 48 or so. So, using this we are getting that this is equal to 5.6. So, then in this particular lecture what we have talked? We have talked of the root crops, the cereal crops, and then fruit crops, and what are the various mechanisms available, and then through a small two problems we wanted to illustrate some of the concepts which we have given over here. Now, we will advise you that you go to the literature or go to the books if you are interested and know more about it. If you have further questions which you want to ask, I think we will be definitely ready to answer to you as and when they come to us. But I think this gives you an overall idea about what are the crops, cereal crops, what are the root crops, fruit crops, etc., what are the basic principles involved in that and how they work. We have shown you certain videos also to appreciate that how they work actually in the field conditions. It is worth showing because this particular course does not have anything to do with the laboratory. So, at least these equipment which are being used, we wanted to show you how they work in the actual field conditions, and we have shown. So, we look forward to your questions as and when come, and thank you very much.